Good morning, Miss Michelle.
Hey, Carla, I'm driving. So I had to mute myself because I also have my little dog in the car. But this class is so important to me today. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss out.
Well, I love that. Welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Sometime you're going to have to introduce me to your little puppy. I don't think I've ever met.
No, he is such a little bad dog, though. He thinks he's big, but he loves to bark at people. He just anybody. He barks at us, but he barks at people on the street. And because I'm on the street, I had to take my daughter to work. He will bark at people he sees walking or whatever.
He's just saying hello.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like nonstop. He'll do it forever. So yeah, how are you doing?
Good. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Ann. Good morning,
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you guys this morning?
I'm better.
Wonderful.
My command's up and running. I'm so excited. Thank you, Chat Snuff.
Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
It's cold right now. I'm freezing.
Yes, it is very
But
cold.
I've got coffee.
Yeah, my car says it's 18 degrees. I don't know if that's
Maybe that's why it's so pretty out. I haven't been outside, but it looks so pretty.
Yeah, it's freezing.
I did see last night, though I don't watch the news very often, but I did see we're going to get some weather tomorrow.
We are?
Yeah.
I don't watch the news very often either, obviously. I just go with the flow.
Some winter weather, because I'm planning on driving to see my daddy tomorrow, so I hope that doesn't mess me up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
We'll
not.
hope not.
Be safe.
I just posted on Facebook that I'm ready for spring now.
I have to tell you, and you guys can all hate me for it, but I want one really good snow.
I love the look of it, but I really only want it on Christmas Day, and then it can just go away.
Yeah, just one really good one, and then it can be 40 the next day. I just want that one day, so I got my fix, and then that's what I'm waiting for. But I don't think this looks like this is going to be one of those messy ones, and I don't like messy ones.
No, I don't either. I don't want to be out in it.
Me neither. I tell everybody I don't drive in the snow. I'm like, if it snows, I don't drive.
Well, that's what I said. I was supposed to drive 2 hours tomorrow to see my daddy, and I would like to do that. But anyways, Cheryl, I got your envelope in my mailbox.
It's been there for a minute too.
This is the first time I've been to the office all year.
Really? I was like, don't forget to take this. So I'm putting this in there and I ask him, where's Carla's mailbox? So
yes. So for those of you that, so while we're waiting on everybody else, so Anu, Ann, and Michelle, if you haven't done it yet, I would love for you to do this because it's such a fun exercise. We did this a couple weeks ago at the Saturday workshop, but take a piece of paper out and write what your 2021 goal is at the top, and then write the 3 things that you're going to do this year to make sure you hit your goal. And then write yourself a thank you note and date it for December 31st of 2021 and start off, dear Michelle, dear Ann, write a letter to yourself and thank yourself for hitting the goal and what that's going to do for your life, what that's done for your life, and mention the 3 things that you did to get there and just thank yourself, put it in an envelope, put your mailing address on the front of it and put it in my mailbox or send it to me. And then I'm going to mail it to you on December 31st. And it's so fun when you get it.
Okay,
I've done that before because we do it in bold.
Yes. Yes.
I got the envelope written. I haven't started the letter yet.
Well, there you go. That's part of the way there. I just put a little spin on it from the way we do it in bold. So we're specifically thanking ourselves. So if you guys haven't done that, I encourage you to do it. It's never too late to do it.
Yeah, I like that. I'll do it. Okay,
so it's fun when you get the letter. I mean, when you get the letter from yourself and you don't even remember that you wrote it, it's so much fun.
Open mind from both. I was so excited. I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot about this.
It is. It's so cool when you get it. Especially
Yeah.
because it's your handwriting on the envelope. I mean, how often do you get an envelope that's addressed to you from you? It's kind of
Yeah.
strange. All right, well, we're going to get started because we've got lots to cover today. So start like we always do. Who's got wins and challenges for me today?
I'll start.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because I don't want my little dog to start barking, so I'm going to hurry up. My win is there is a radio program, and it's like a talk show program, and I listen to it not often when I'm in the car. And so I was actually listening, and at the end of the show, about a month ago, they had a section of the show, a portion of the show called Swap Meet, and they said you could call in if you wanted to sell something, your car, your washer and dryer, whatever. So I called into the show and told them I was a realtor and I can help them buy or sell. I had a mini commercial I quickly rattled off. And so I didn't get any leads from it that particular week, the first time I did it. And then I was taking my daughter somewhere and I heard the show again. And so I got on and did it again. I got one call the next day from a woman who said she heard me on the show. And so I was so excited. So now I'm going to make sure, although I'm not in the car at 7 p.m. on Sunday, that I get on the radio station and do that.
Very
Just
cool.
promote. And it was free. It was totally free.
You can't beat that. And talk about intentional, right? We have been talking about being intentional all month. That is intentional. I love that, Michelle.
Yep. So
All right.
that was my, yep. And then I wouldn't say I had any losses this week. Oh, well, no. I would not say I had any losses. I chose to not do a listing yesterday or not do a listing appointment just because I think that the lady keeps going back and forth. And I've been to her house a couple times. And then when I get outside her house, she's calling me to cancel. So I chose yesterday not to go.
All right. So how tell me about your probate listing.
So I actually am waiting. I sent her the name for the appraisers. She is going. So I'm waiting on her to get that done. She's given that to her attorney, who is also my friend, and so I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with that. I don't know how fast or how slowly that moves, but I'm all in. Huh?
Awesome. No, that's awesome. So that I love the fact that you know that you've got a friend that is going to be a good referral source for that type of business, because it's really nice, unless you get a whole bunch of family members that are all heirs that all think that they have to have a say. That's when it gets a little challenging, but it's a good business. Good place to get listings. So good for our conversation today. All right, who else is next? Who's got a win and challenge?
I'll go.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I finally got my flat rate sell property closed yesterday. Woohoo! My goodness, that was great.
All right, so here you go. This is going to be, we're going to put this in a lessons learned category. So if you had it to do all over again, tell everybody a little bit about it real quick. And if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Okay, well, my friend reached out to me to sell their property that was like a fix and flip property. And since she didn't want to have to pay a lot of money, didn't want to really list it, but she just wanted to pay a flat rate on it. So we agreed we'd do that. I was just like, hey, we just want you to do the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. But as the story goes, she was buying the house on a land contract for the last 20 years, and it was also an estate. So, I mean, everything that could happen has happened to it. We got down to where we were ready to schedule the closing and found out that there was a judgment, but she had paid it. She just had to chase the documents down and prove that. And then there was also a tax lien against the owners of the estate. So that was able to be paid at closing. But it was quite the challenge for $1,000. So, you know, once you do your splits and everything, and I was like, wow, I did this for $400. You know? No, but I was like, lesson learned. No, I won't, I don't think I would do it unless it's a much higher rate that would cover my 3% at least. And since I did the buy and sell, you know, I feel like I could have got more than that. It wasn't too hard. There was just a lot of documentation and a lot of chasing things around. The people moved up from Tennessee, so I was talking to the agent in Tennessee as well to make sure that their closing was going well and everything. It was a USDA property in Tennessee. So like I said, every single thing that you can imagine through this whole
So how many
transaction
hours
happened.
do you think that you had involved?
A lot. Well, we started this, I spoke to her initially in November, and we signed, we did the purchase agreement. We decided with talking to Rhonda that we would do it for sale by owner. But I really technically was doing documents for both sides. So it was also a limited agency. So we had to fill out that document. And I've got, here, I'll just show you this. This is my file.
So did you make minimum wage?
Probably not.
Okay, there's what I was trying to get out.
Maybe minimum wage for 1986.
So make sure that you realize what your value is, right? And if that's what somebody wants, right? Who wants to work for free? Nobody's raising their hands. Nobody wants to work for free. Who wants to work for minimum wage? No. Who wants to take time out of their business to do something for minimum wage when they could be working on something that could really earn them a nice commission? So when somebody approaches you about one of these flat fee type deals, of course we want to help them, but we need to have an honest explanation to them. If you had a friend that was a lawyer, Michelle just said she has a friend that's a lawyer. If you had a friend that was a lawyer and you needed legal help, would you expect them to do it for you for free? No. Wouldn't you feel bad maybe even if they did it for free? So we just have to be honest and upfront with our friends and our family and say, hey, I'm happy to help you. I have all the schooling and education, and I've invested a lot into that. Plus, I'm really working on my own business. I'd love to help you. So I can make a deal for you, but we have to be realistic, right? This
Exactly.
is going to be, about, probably 10 hours, maybe of my time, and
maybe 45, 50, 60, 70 hours possibly.
Right. Or could we do this? Could we say, well, we'll do it for $500 and that'll cover you up to 5 hours. But if it takes longer than 5 hours, then we're going to have to adjust that on an hourly basis.
Exactly.
Right.
My lesson learned is that, I'm happy that it's done. They're all very happy people, very kind people to work with. I'm glad everybody got what they wanted out of the deal. But the lesson learned is that I wouldn't do it again for that. But now I have that experience to know that if I'm approached with that, I know how to handle it and let them know, what my value is. I think I could describe to them my value, and that, if it was a flat rate, it would definitely be much more. It would cover, the percentage that we would charge for a listing. And I would probably explain that to them, I told her too, I said, I'm going to be honest with you. If we list this house, I feel like that is going to get you your highest dollar. I said, because it's going out there to so many people. There's thousands and thousands of people that are going to see this. And the inventory is so low. I was like, that's what I think. And I think she just didn't want to deal with people coming through the house. It needed a lot of work. It really did. So when she found somebody willing to buy it, I was like, okay, that's great. But then I really was working both sides for the same amount. I was like, oh gosh. So I'm glad that was a challenge, and I'm glad that's done. My command, when I got switched into productivity, it changed my permissions. So I was trying to upload documents and I was freaking out. I was like, what is wrong? During Ignite training yesterday, I had a server error and I was like, uh-oh. So I just watched what Shauna was doing. I went in there to try to add some contacts and do opportunities, and I couldn't do anything. So last night, after I finally got back down here to work with it, I was on KW Rockstars, and Chad Smith chimed in. He's like, gives me his number. I call him. He's like, I was like, I don't know what I've done. I'm certain it's something that I'm not doing correctly. But I said earlier I had a server error, but I noticed I'm now on the productivity coaching. And he was like, aha, okay, hang on, let's get in here. Let's check permissions. So I've got documents being uploaded now. So
awesome. All right. Anybody else have a win challenge?
Yeah, I've got one that I've got a buyer that put in an offer yesterday.
Yay!
Negotiations, so we'll see. I haven't had them respond to the offer yet, but it had a tenant in the house is what the challenge was, and how to try to get the house. What we did was she was okay with, it's her first house, so she was okay with waiting until the tenant's lease expires to take possession. So it's going to be a long one. It's going to be May 1st before we have the closing. But, you know, at least it protects her. It puts the owner in charge, or the seller, the listing
Good tenant, yeah.
in charge of notifying the tenant. So
That's awesome. And that's a really good thing to do for a buyer in this market, right? If we can find a unique circumstance where a buyer that's not in a hurry, then they're competing with fewer people, right? That's a really good instance where it's a lease coming to an end. And another one is something that we're going to talk about today, where the seller needs to have time to find a home of their own. So those are two really good opportunities. Awesome, Armand. That's fabulous. All right. Is that your challenge too?
yeah, well, the challenge is a tenant.
The tenant. Okay.
So we overcame it by going with her lease time, or, you know, when the lease was up. So, and giving them the opportunity, the additional time. So, you know, I think that's going to be, we did reduce the price, but it gives us a reason, you know, for the reduction on the price. So I
You
think,
reduced the price, but you've let the seller keep the rent,
right.
right? So that works out really well. Awesome. Yay.
Yay,
All right.
boo.
Anybody else got win challenge they want to talk about?
I've got a good
go.
win. Maybe.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I got my listing. I have an accepted offer on my listing.
By the way, this is
In
the
this
one
week,
that got
yeah. So that
expired.
was
It was an expired listing that she relisted,
Mhm.
and the very first person that showed it was the agent who that it didn't sell it.
Oh my goodness.
yeah. Yep. And the people that actually offered and we accepted their offer, I'm pretty sure they saw it under the agent that it expired under. So that was an interesting piece, but I was really nervous because we thought I still think it was probably a little overpriced. So we'll see what happens with the appraisal, but they offered and we accepted it. So moving forward, that was a good win. And then my challenge is that those buyers or those sellers, one of them has to find a place to go now. So now we have to figure out if that's a rental or if they can actually purchase something and deal with closing an estate and all that.
Mm.
So, yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
See, and you were worried about that one. You sold
I
it
was
before you
worried.
even had the listing agreement signed.
True. Technically.
Technically.
It was in the works, yeah. So we'll see how it goes. One of the sellers yesterday, I mentioned that, I said, you know, now appraisal and inspection stuff. He's like, well, we're not coming down anymore on the
Well, if it
price, which is what
appraises,
he keeps saying. So
right. If it
Taxes.
appraises though, that's what will have to happen. And that's the beautiful thing about an appraisal, right? And the other thing is you have an ally here because you have an attorney.
right. Yes.
That's one of the fun things about probate. As long as you make good relationship with the attorney for the probate, you've got another like voice of reason, because the attorney wants to close the
Yeah.
estate. His
Right.
goal is to close the estate. So there's somebody else that's equally motivated as you to get it sold. So
Right.
awesome. All right. Anybody else win challenge they want to share?
Yeah, I can share. Oh, who's that?
Everybody
Patricia, you can
meet
go ahead.
Carol. Some of you may remember Terrell from earlier in the year, but Terrell is in the Indy Metro West office, brand new agent, just came over from another brokerage. We aren't going to say who. And he's just joined productivity coaching. So everybody say hello to Terrell.
Hi, Tara.
Hi, Terrell.
Great to meet you all.
You got a win and a challenge to share?
I guess a win of mine is just, as Carla said, that I'm switching over from another brokerage. Just a win of mine is just uploading my contacts into Command. But the challenge is also finding like all the email addresses that I don't have for those people, trying to get those in situated. So I think as of right now, those are my wins and challenges. Also another win, I showed a client that I had at my last brokerage. I'm still working with him. And I showed him a couple of houses and he wasn't able to go to the showing. So I made a video for him. So I guess that was a win. Like now I want to offer that to my clients. If they're not able to go to a showing, I'll still be able to go in, do a walkthrough video for them and send it to them. Like I had like music and all this other stuff. So the technical aspects. So I asked him to give me some feedback on the house and also on the video so I can do those in the future also.
Now, can you turn that, two things, can you turn that video into something you could use for your social media?
Yes, that's the plan. I think there's still a little hiccups because it's like the second one I did. So I was just telling my wife last night, like the more that I do this, I'm definitely going to put this onto the social media on different houses. And I just did it with my iPhone.
Absolutely. So for everybody that you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the podcast, Everything Life and Real Estate. And I've recommended this to a couple of you to watch this week, to listen to this week, not watch, but this last Monday, their guest is an agent out of Orlando who generated $20 million in business last year on YouTube.
Mm.
Who would like to have $20 million in business?
Oh, me, please.
Yeah. So listen to that. Listen to It's Everything Life and Real Estate with Linda McKissick, who owns our region, and Dana Gentry, who's on the regional leadership team and owns a couple market centers. They're awesome. It drops every Monday, but this last one is the most recent one. But then go back and listen. I've sent you guys out that way for other things. Every once in a while, they'll have somebody on there that just blows me away. And this was one of them. So Terrell, your challenge about getting your email addresses for your contacts, how do we go about getting those?
Well, either I want to just start texting friends or those contacts that I have the phone numbers with, and then I'm also going to put them on a smart plan that we just talked about in the database coaching with Carla. Just adding on to those smart plans to see if that's another way to reach out to them.
Would it also be a good time to just give them a call and say, hey, I want to let you know I had a little life change, something exciting happened in my life, and I've got something really cool I want to send you, right? That's your neighborhood nurture. Can I have your email address? And I'm going to send it to you, and then can I check back in and see what you think? Just like you did with your video, right? So call them, tell them your news, tell them you have something to share with them, and then make a follow-up. And that is the way you're going to get to have a conversation. And that's going to key into what we're going to be talking about today as well. So awesome. Yay. Welcome. All right. Who's next? Somebody had something to share. I can't remember who it was now.
It was me.
There you go, dear. How are you this morning?
I'm all right. So my I'll start with my struggle, my challenge. I was just all over the place this week. I'm back is my win. I was able to buy some more note cards. I did talk to a few people downtown in my downtown area about listing their homes. So hopefully we'll talk again. There's a few people who are out of town that have rental homes down here. So they will be contacting me. So that's a win.
Very
and my
good.
daughter
Any challenge?
This week was rough.
Rough. Okay. It was a rough week, but you're back.
Yes. Yep. I'm back.
We all have rough weeks sometimes, right? What's the one thing when we have a rough week we need to make sure we didn't leave off our table? We didn't forget to do? That we didn't walk away from?
I don't know.
Legion.
Legion, absolutely. So if everything else falls away, that's our number one job, right? That's the one thing that we have to make sure that we take care of.
I think you have that pounded in my brain now. Like, that's my answer always. Legion, Legion. I'm not going to forget that.
Well, good. That means I did my job, because that is your number one job, right? What's the point of all of this if we don't have clients?
Right.
Awesome. Hang on, I gotta turn my heater down. I was cold this morning, I turned the heater on, and now it's a sauna in here. All right, anybody else got a winner challenge they want to share this morning?
I have a win.
Yes?
I got my first buyer's agreement yesterday signed.
Yay!
So,
Did my
Um,
answer last night make sense to you, dear?
it did. I attempted it, but I guess I did it wrong because she sent it back to me and said I need to assign it to her
You
in
have to put a
DocuSign.
box. Yeah, you have to put a box in for her to sign. So you know,
Okay.
over on the left, you just drag the signature down.
Okay,
So you
I
send
wasn't
it to
quite
her,
sure,
but you
so-
didn't give her a spot to sign.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure because it came up that when I added her as a recipient, like it came up with a notification that I changed the document, so I got kind of scared. So I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but we're gonna try it and see what happens. And
Yeah, so you're just good. Yeah, you just come in and add the signature block, and then she can sign it.
okay. Thank you. So that was my challenge for today, actually. Figure
Your
that out.
DocuSign challenge. All right. Anybody else have something they want to share? Okay.
I got a quickly I'll say this. I got a lead from a Facebook friend of mine who also attends my church, and I go to a mega church, and so the lead the person called me on Facebook, and I am kind of new to Facebook. Like, I started it with real estate, and so I wasn't used to the call coming through Facebook, so I almost declined it. And then I was like, oh, I better accept this. And it was one of my Facebook friends, and she was saying a friend of hers was talking about buying a house, and she said, hey, one of my Facebook friends is a realtor.
Very cool.
I sent her my number right away, and then she called me and she said, well, my friend is a little shy. She doesn't want to call you. So is it okay if I put her on three-way? And she's from Africa, so she called it third way. She's like, is it okay if I put her on third way? And I said, yeah, that's fine. And so we talked, and the woman has $50,000 saved for her down payment. And she already knows what areas she wants to live and how much she wants her home to cost. And so all she needed was a lender. I referred her to Tim Deersing, and I was like, let's go. Let's go.
Fabulous.
I am so excited. I know. And I was like, and the thing that I almost declined that call because I don't get calls through Facebook. So I didn't even know what that was. I was looking at my phone like, what's happening?
So, you know, that's the cool thing though. So if we do all the things, Michelle, remind me, when did you get your license?
August of 2019.
So slowly then suddenly we hear that. I'll let you know, you guys hear that from me, but it happens, right? If you do, and I know Michelle has done all the things that she's supposed to do. If you do all the things that we talk about, eventually you become a magnet, right? Michelle was a magnet. They were drawn to her. She didn't have to go find this person. Isn't lead generation going to be a whole lot more fun when they're calling you?
Mm-hmm.
Who wants our leads to call us instead of us having to find them?
Me.
Yeah,
right?
me.
But how do you get there? Well, I'll tell you how.
Patience and persistence.
Patience and persistence. And I've given you the template. So even if you're not in the 12-week to success, if you didn't commit to it this first round, look at those metrics, because those are the things, those are the activities that will create your magnetism, right? Those are the activities that are going to start bringing people to you. So one of those metrics is making social media posts, right? Liking people, commenting on people, making social media posts. How did Michelle get this buyer? Social media post, right? Because she has a presence on social media, and she's reminding people It's leverage, right? Isn't it leverage? If we're putting that out there into the universe, it's very similar to Michelle going on the radio, right? We're getting the message out and seeing who grabs onto it. So for those of you that have done, if you've either read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, or when you get to the elements part of Ignite, or if you've already done that part, we have prospecting and marketing, right? And that we want to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. Going on the radio is marketing, although Michelle broke the rules there because that wasn't expensive, right? That didn't cost her anything. Most marketing is expensive, but that one didn't cost anything. Social media is marketing. It's kind of a blend of marketing and prospecting, but we get that marketing bang for our buck and it doesn't cost us anything. So we get free marketing. All right. So anybody want to have listings? Who wants listings in their book of business? Why do we want listings? Everybody, let's make a list. Why would we want listings? Why are listings good for us?
Buyers come to us.
The buyers come to us. Yeah, so we have sign calls, right? What else?
You usually get a buyer along with a seller.
At least one, yeah. So we're going to have our sellers probably going to need someplace to live. Most buyers aren't going to let them stay, are they? No.
I got 3 opportunities because I had a listing. They called about the house, but they didn't have an agent.
Yes.
So I could help them find a house, even though they might not have been interested in what I had listed.
So sign calls, that's 4. That's 4 for 1, right? 1 listing, 4. When we have a buyer and we help a buyer find a home, how many other opportunities do we have for business there directly? None?
Much.
What else? One of the challenges that you guys tell me that you have every week is time. Let's talk about the difference in time involvement with a seller versus a buyer. How many times?
So much less work.
Yeah.
Exactly. Miranda, Miranda had a very time intensive listing because she had to get ink signs, wet signatures from multiple sellers. Okay. So time intensive. Compare that to your last buyer, time intensive seller listing and your last buyer. How many homes did you show your last buyer?
I've been pretty lucky, but yeah, I mean, it's usually like 2 or 3 or 4 or more than that, but it's none. I mean, you know, with a buyer too, you're kind of tied down, I feel like, with your, weekends and times, and have to be available on short notice. And like we traveled to, we're in Tennessee right now. And it's just because I don't have anybody who's actively looking, but I can do everything for the listing from anywhere. And it's on the buyer's agent to, get the inspection, be at the inspection and do all of that. So it's so much easier.
Who controls the amount of the commission?
You do.
The listing agent. Yeah. Can we think of anything else? Any other things?
Open houses that you do there too can bring you more clients and leads.
Absolutely. You guys tell me it's hard to find open houses. If you're in control, are you in control? Right? You could have your own open houses. What about your social media posts? Yeah. What about social proof, right? This is my listing. I listed this property, right? Sometime go out and take a look at Katie Zirkelbach's Facebook page and see what she posts. Christy Williams, she did a video with me. She's a PC alum. Go look at her video, but go look at her Facebook page and look what she posts when she has multiple listings, where she can put out there. So we know they're good to have, right? What's another reason right now that's really good to have? If we have a buyer, what's the challenge right now?
Finding a house for sale.
Finding a house for them to even look at, right? Or to get a showing scheduled. If we have it listed, do we have any challenges with finding a buyer?
No.
Not a lot.
Not maybe.
No? And maybe the property might have some issues, right? Chelsea's got one right now. Is Chelsea on here? Chelsea's got one right now that maybe is a little challenging of a listing, but everything is sellable at the right price, right? So we just have to find the right price, what the market is willing to pay for it. So we don't have to, I mean, sure, we want the perfect listing that goes really quickly and sells at a really high price. But if we get any listing, it's still better than showing 20 houses and writing 10 offers and multiple offers and having them all lose and having to explain that to our buyer and deal with their broken heart over and over again. So we're going to do a listings challenge. So it's called Loving on Listings because February is
I like that.
love, right? It's the month of love. I can't take credit for it. The entire productivity coaching KW around the country is doing this. So I didn't come up with this on my own, but here's ours. I sent it to you guys last night. So for each listing taken between today and the end of February, you're going to get 1 heart, and whoever has the most hearts at the end of February is going to win. First place is a central lock box. Although if you're in Louisville, I'll have an alternate prize for you. Second prize is a $40 Red Store gift certificate. So you can buy some KW swag. You could buy a sweatshirt or a t-shirt or whatever. And then third place is going to be a copy of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. If you don't have one, the 12-week year or the one thing, whatever books you don't have, I will get you a book. So that's third prize. So, but more importantly than all of that is bragging rights. And most important is the impact it has towards you and your goals. Okay. Your goals. So who would like to have at least 1 listing between now and the end of February?
I do.
I do.
Is that everybody?
I
got a better idea. Who does not want any listings? Okay. So everybody wants listings. So you know what's going to happen by the end of the day today is I'm going to have you make a commitment, right? For how many listings that you're going to get before the end of February. So you just know that that's inevitable. So you can just put that in your mind right now. But I want to go through and have some conversations about where we get our listings, the conversations around listings. So let's start with the easy place. Does everybody have a piece of paper? Make a list for yourself, because at the end, I want you to identify where you're going to get your listings from. So the first place that we go for listings is where? Where's the easy place?
Neighborhood.
Easier than that.
Sphere.
Sphere of influence. People who we already know. We already know them, like them, trust them. And Terrell, this is a really good opportunity for you because you're going to get triple bang for your buck. You're going to let them know you changed brokerages. You're going to let them know about the market right now and find out, do they need to sell, or do they know anyone who might want to sell? And then you're going to get their email address. You're going to have like triple whammy for every one of these conversations you make. I mean, talk about that. We get to do 3 things at once. For those of you that have already told them you're a realtor and you've already told them what brokerage you're with and you already have all their contact information, you're still, you can give them a call. And I put in your Indy Metro PC library, I'll just show you this real quick because I put some things in here for you last night and this morning so that you have all the tools that you need. So if you go to the PC library, there's now a folder that's called Lovin' on Listings. Right here, Lovin' on Listings. And in this folder, there's that little thing that I just showed you. So if you could just want to forget, if you want to relook at it and know why you're doing this, that's it. But I sent you some of this last night, but there's some materials in here on some scripts and some objection handlers, right? So we want to have, they might have some objections. So let's talk about some of those objections when you call the people in your database. You're going to call the people in your database and you're going to say, hey, I just wanted to make sure you knew what was going on in the market right now. So the lenders are telling us that because of the change in the government, and no political conversation here, but because of changes that's going on right now and because of COVID and because of all kinds of things, we don't know how long the interest rates are going to stay. Does anybody know what the interest rates are right now?
I think
2.75.
2.9. I got a couple people approved at 2.9.
Yeah, so I pulled bankrate.com yesterday morning. 15-year fixed is 2.39 and a 30-year fixed is 2.88. Okay. This is, I realize we've had this for 6 or 9 months and maybe it's starting to sound like it's normal, but I promise you this is not normal, right? Do you guys know what happens when the interest rate starts rising?
They won't get for as much house, so it's going to take down the amount that they get approved for. So, or either less people will get approved because it's going to mess with their DTI as well.
Absolutely. So are you guys seeing this little thing with blue boxes on it?
Yes.
Zoom changed how I screen share and I haven't figured it out yet. So bear with me, but I just found this morning. I mean, I know these are pretty high prices, so you know, it may, but it doesn't matter at what price point you are, it has the same impact. So look at the difference. If you look down here at the loan amount, right? So look at what a $2,000 a month loan payment will provide, the loan amount, right? So at 3%, it's $474,000 home. At 4%, it's $419. At 5%, now it's $100,000 lower than it was at 3%. Do you see that?
Mhm.
I mean, that's dramatic, right? If we're calling our database and they are saying, well, you know, yeah, we'd like to upgrade our home someday, but I don't know if now is the right time. Well, when's going to be the right time? Because the interest rate's not going to go lower, right? The only place it has to go is up. I mean, it might go lower just a little bit, but I don't think it's good. I don't think we're going to get in the, you know, sub 2s, right? So this is where you want, right? So this is where your $2,000 is going to buy you the most house, right? Is right now. So, but when we make these calls to people in our database, do we want to tell them all of that on the phone?
No.
Or you want to get the appointment?
No.
We want to get an appointment, right? So what do we want to do when we call them on the phone? Whether it's our sphere or it's cold calling or whatever it is, no matter what it is, what do we want to do?
Get the appointment.
We want to get the appointment. And how we get the appointment is we need to ask some questions and get them interested, right? We want to get them excited and interested about the thing. So we start off with a little information, right? I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of what is going on in the real estate market right now. Did you know? Do you know what's going on? Right? Don't just tell them, just ask them, do they know? They're going to tell you what they think, right? What they think they know. And then you can say, well, that's really interesting, but you know what, we actually have, you know, all-time low interest rates and it's a seller's market. Do you know what a seller's market means? Right? Then we'll ask them, do they know what a seller's market means? And get their feedback, because we can play off of theirs. We can tell them all the time, but if they self-discover this because you ask them questions, then they think. So have you ever thought about upgrading your home? Right? That would be a question. Have you ever thought about upgrading your home? What are some other questions that you guys can think of that we could ask that might get them excited or interested in talking about selling their home?
How much equity they have?
How much equity they have. Yeah. How much equity you have, because your down payment is going to control things, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about how long ago they purchased their home?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because they may not know how much equity they have. If they say they don't know how much equity they have, you could ask, well, how long ago did you purchase your home? Right? How about, is it meeting all your needs? Do you have a home office? Have you had to work? Are you having to work from home? Do you have good space for that? Right? How are things in your neighborhood? Do you pretty much like your neighborhood? You know, if you were to upgrade, would you want to upgrade in the same area or would you want to upgrade in another area? But just have a conversation, get them dreaming about, you know, if you were to upgrade, what would your perfect house look like? Get them excited, get them thinking about it, right? And then schedule the appointment. Now, if they won't schedule an appointment and they have objections and they say, well, yeah, but you just told me that the inventory is low, right? We've got objection handlers for that. And we're going to practice those here in a little bit. So tell me what you're thinking about. So first of all, who has people in their database that own a home? Everybody has people in their home. Don't you think that you owe it to them to let them know that they have this opportunity right now? You don't have to make them take the opportunity, but shouldn't they know about it? Now, you guys know I don't watch the news very often, but does anybody here watch the news on a regular basis?
I do.
Michelle, on the news, are they telling people on a regular basis that that it's a seller's market and that the inventory and the interest rate make this perfect trifecta for selling your home?
Yeah, well, I hear it on the news, yes.
They tell people on the news that this is a good time to sell their home?
No, they don't.
No, I don't think that's the message they're getting, right? They're not getting that message. Do you think that there are people that probably don't even know that the interest rate is at an all-time historical low?
Now they do talk about the interest rates, not daily, not often, but I do hear it on the news, but not, like you said, not often.
Do you think that people know what I just showed you about when the interest rate starts going up, what that does to their buying power? No.
No, they don't know.
Now, tell me about buying power. So this buying power, this impacts our sellers and their ability to buy the replacement home, but doesn't it also impact the potential sale price of their home? Right? If their home is worth $200,000 right now, and all of a sudden the interest rate goes up 1%, do you think that's going to impact that what buyer would be willing to pay for their house or able to pay for their house?
Mm-hmm.
So that's two ways to have this conversation and sort of educate. So could you consider these phone calls to your sphere as just educating the people that you care about?
Absolutely.
All right. So how many, think for yourself right now and write down on that piece of paper that I had you get out. How many people do you think in your database own a home that need this information?
Oh my gosh. If only half, I'm around like 650. So
yeah, that's a lot of phone calls.
That's a lot of phone calls.
That's going to make your 12 weeks to success super easy.
I really like to talk if you guys haven't figured that out yet. So I'm pretty sure you have, but.
All right. So tell me what thoughts you're having around this. I know that there are limiting beliefs out there, so just be honest and throw them out. What are your limiting beliefs around this?
People thinking you're an annoying realtor.
I think for me, it's, I know actually a potential seller would be my sister who has a second house, and she has been talking about selling this house, but the problem is just trying to get her to understand that her house is not worth what she thinks it is, because she thinks that because she's done all these improvements that her house is worth a lot, the second house is worth a lot, and it's just not. She's used it as a rental, and I struggle with hurting her feelings and letting her know that that you're not going to get that for that house. You're just not.
Or some comparables.
Who determines the price of the property?
The seller.
The seller.
Market.
The market does.
Right? The market determines that. Maybe I should have said the ultimate sale price, right? The market determines that, right? So Michelle, you just tell your sister, well, we're going to have to let the market decide that. What happens if we underprice in this market right now that we're in this seller's market? This doesn't apply to all markets, but in this market right now, what happens if we price the property a little low?
Bidding war.
Multiple offers, lots of them.
And where will we land?
Higher.
At or above the market value, right? As ultimately determined by the appraiser, right?
Right.
So if we price it a little too low, right? That's what's going to happen. What happens if we price it a little too high?
It's going to stay on the market.
You have
You're going to
fewer.
have showings, right? They're not even going to come see it, right? So we don't want things to be on the market for a long time, because what do buyers think, especially in this market? What do buyers think when a property's been on the market for longer than 3 days?
What's wrong with it?
Right, 3 days. 3 days. What's wrong with it, right?
I know, really. I think that too.
Right. So there must be something wrong with it. 3 days, there must be something wrong with it. So we have to explain that to our sellers, right? Well, I want you to get the most money. I want you to walk away. I'm going to make sure you walk away from the closing table with the most amount of money. But here's the thing. I don't get to determine what that price is, right? You honestly don't get to determine what that price is. In many cases, the buyers don't even get to determine what that price is, because the appraiser determines what that price is, right? So here's the thing. We just want to make sure we position it in a place where we're sure that we're going to be in the place where the market will acknowledge the property. And that's why I recommend in a listing agreement that you put in the language that says, if we don't have X number of showings in the first 24 hours, we immediately drop the price. And the reason why is now we've made a correction, right? That the market sees as a correction and not as there's something wrong with this property, right? So we have to be really diligent about that, Michelle. So I don't like overpricing a property, don't get me wrong. But if the seller really wants to see what the top end of the market is right now, and they don't buy the conversation about the multiple offers, if we're a little too low, it will just self-correct, right? In this market, it will correct itself. So we just put that in there, say, well, okay, let's start where you want to be, as long as you agree with me that if we don't have at least 5 showings in the first 24 hours, we're going to correct the price so that we can still make sure we get you the maximum amount when you walk away from the closing table. The other thing is, Michelle, explain to her that whatever that price is, it's the highest it's ever going to be. And I just, the example that I just gave you is good illustration. Later today, I will redo this, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. I will redo this grid that I found with the 450 and the 750, and I'll do a 150 and a 200, or a 150 and a 300, something like that. So it'd be something that, a graphic that you guys could actually use with your sellers. So I'll put that in your LOVIN on Listings folder later this weekend.
Carla, on that email you sent last night, was that information included? Because there was something that had like 28 pages. I didn't want to print it, so I was going to save it, but I haven't done that yet.
It's in that folder.
Okay.
It's in that LOVIN on Listings folder, and that's probably the scripts. There's a bunch. So I've given you as many, I sat last night for 2.5 hours and pulled as many objection handlers as I could find.
Okay.
So come back to me. Tell me some more. What if they're not your limiting beliefs, tell me what objections you think people are going to give you about selling their home.
They're not sure they're ready.
They're not sure they're ready. So how do we get around they're not sure they're ready?
Convince them they are.
No. We just ask them questions and let them convince themselves that they are.
They convince themselves. Okay, I remember that one.
So we have to get into the question asking mode. We have to be asking questions, not telling. Okay. If we ask questions and they self-discover, right, then they own it. If we tell them and we try to always be closing and all of that, then what did we become?
Annoying realtors.
What'd you say? An annoying realtor. That was your original one, right?
Yeah.
We become the thing that we're afraid that people are going to think we are.
Right.
All right. So I got to see how many there are of us now. So I'm going to throw you guys out for 15 minutes in breakout rooms, three in a room, I think 3 or 4 in a room. And here's what I want you to do is I want you to practice what your call is going to be. Now there's a bunch of scripts in that LOVIN on Listings folder, so you can look in there and just practice like having this conversation. Okay. And just right now, just practice having the intro to the conversation. Then we're going to talk about objections a little bit more, and then we'll go back out and we'll deal with everybody try to come up with an objection for each other. Okay, so 15 minutes, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what happens if I do 5. All right. So
I'm currently driving, so if I can just listen, that's probably gonna be best because I don't want to get a ticket.
I don't want you to get a ticket either, dear.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, here you go. I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. Ann, are you seeing the thing to move?
Oh my goodness. I can't hear you.
That's because I'm muted. That's why you can't hear me. I was muted. That doesn't normally happen. Everybody's out in little breakout rooms. They are practicing calling their sphere about looking for listing opportunities. So I'm going to pop you in with a group, and you got 10 minutes left there, and then we'll be back again.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, Miss Danita.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I am good. Hey, everybody's out in breakout rooms and they are script practicing, calling their sphere to talk about listings. So I'm gonna pop you in a room. You got about 6 minutes and then we'll all be back together.
Okay.
Okay.
Here.
How did it feel? How the conversations go? Was it pretty easy?
No.
What was not easy about it?
Um,
I'm trying to remember.
me trying to be difficult.
This was supposed to be the easy one. Oh, come on.
You admitted it.
Cheryl and Robert, and I put you guys in the same room too, didn't I?
My heart rate's at 100.
he wanted me to be difficult, so I was really trying to be difficult.
Awesome. All right. All right. So other than your sphere, where can we find listings? Where can we find listing opportunities?
Social media.
Yes.
Social media. Let's talk about that. What would that look like?
Posting, possibly going live. Also if we have current listings, you can post those or just give information, just question answers, ask people questions, or even post, informational tips. So
how about this? How about if you made a post and you put a picture of a really pretty house on there and said, who would like to upgrade their current living situation? Like put a picture of like a bunch of kids trying to do class and find a fun picture online, right? Just Google it and find a picture of, crazy homeschooling and trying to work from home pictures, right? Post that and say, who would like to have upgrade their home to one with an office for everyone in the house? 4-bedroom, 4-office home, right? Who would be interested? If you make it fun, right? Or which would you rather have? If you were to upgrade your home, would you rather have more bedrooms, more bathrooms, or more office space? Right? Post that out there and just see what comes up with.
I like that. Asking what they're looking for. So
get them thinking, right? Get them thinking about what that might be, what that might look like. I love that you mentioned Facebook Live. How about just like a little informational session? Hey, pop on if you have any questions about the current market, the interest rates, what we think might be happening in the future. Pop on and let's chat about it, right? All right. What's another place? Where else might we be able to find listings?
This sounds bad, but probably from like a divorcee situation.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Facebook has like a divorce group we could join or something.
Yeah.
I know an agent that goes after, he looks in the whatever you want to call it, the newspaper ads, and goes after the divorce announcements.
Yeah, you can make friends with a long-term plan, make friends with divorce attorneys, right? Because they have to refer the clients to somewhere.
Well, I've done that. I have a friend here who practices family law in Louisville, and he sends me people.
That's great.
I send him people, and he sends me people. So make friends with a family law attorney, y'all. It'll work out eventually.
How you doing, Shelley?
Oh, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
All right, where else?
Well, I guess to piggyback on that, you can even look in the obituaries.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Funeral home.
Absolutely. That's just helping people that need help, right? I mean, we're laughing because it sounds like it's bottom feeding, but it's really not. They need help, right? Then that just being offering our services and helping. How about we talk about it a lot? How about for sale by owners and expired? Isn't that like another place? These people have raised their hand and said they want to sell, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, I have a question. So you said divorce attorneys, I'm just writing this down, expires, FSBOs, funeral homes is a really good one. I didn't even think about that. What else did you say?
Somebody said obituaries, but funeral homes, that's a good point. Again, go make friends with the people at the funeral home, right? They have to refer people to people.
I have a friend that's a funeral director. Why have I not asked him?
Well, I don't know, but now you will, won't you?
He's
Because
in my
you'll be
sphere
intentional.
now. He's in my
Terrell
sphere.
has his hand raised. I love this. Terrell, we just jump in here, but I love that.
No, it's fine. This is just I'm a teacher, so this is what I'm so used to. No, it's funny, like as we were talking about like obituaries and things like that. Just recently, my father passed away. So we just had the service last week, and it's like, I don't want to say this is bad, but I'm also sitting there as the funeral is going on, and it was expected, so we knew it was happening. I'm sitting in there, it's like, I should go to talk to the funeral director with this, and because families are going to need, like, I think because I'm only 34, but I like Hank Aaron just passed away. I just read in the news someone else just passed away. I'm like, I am at the age where someone is going to pass away probably every year, but that's a family that needs help every single year out of my sphere. It's like I need to make sure that I am there for them, like as a friend. But if there's anything like the real estate side, like I can help them with that, just to have so many different options for them. Talk about it and have them, because they're already comfortable with me anyway, so we could just talk about it, like, hey, sorry for your loss, but like, what you guys want to do? I'm just here to help and make sure that's one thing that you can get handled after everything. And thank you for everybody for your condolences also. I see it in the chat.
Hey, Terrell, tell them that you'd like to be a resource for them.
Yeah, just a resource. That's all I want to. Yeah. I just want to be a resource.
Resource is a great term to use, and then that way, just say you want to be a resource as they try to navigate the next, 3, 6, 12 months, and let you know what you can do to help them.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing.
Absolutely. And if that is a business model, if that is a niche that you want to tap into, and that's some source of lead generation, then you need to put together a book of vendors, a list of vendors, because if you're going to be a resource for them, you need to start making a list of all the things that they might need: an attorney, an appraiser, someone that comes in. Miranda has already, no, that was Michelle. It was Michelle, not Miranda. I have a list of vendors because I worked with seniors that come in and clean out the house, right? Estate, auctioneers. So if you guys need any of those kind of people here in Indianapolis, I have them, but I have the ones that I chose because I interviewed them. And then the conversation that I have with people, vendors, is I always say, hey, I'm going to refer business to you. Shelley mentioned this. I'm going to refer business to you, but if I refer business to you, I like to work with people that, we all are in it together. So, I'm going to expect it to go both ways. Is that all right with you? Right. That makes sure that understanding. So that's awesome. All right. So we have FSBOs, we have probate, obituaries, those kind of things. We have divorce, we have expireds, we have our sphere. What else?
I actually, when I was getting my real estate license, I was there were doctors or almost doctors there to get their license as well, and I was giving them my name and number, and this was way before I had even signed with the brokerage or even gotten my license. But I told them, I said, I'm getting ready to get my license today. And so if you're looking for a house, because I knew they were going to be doctors after, if they pass. And so I said, if you pass and you're looking for a house, give me a call. So that was, and they all started laughing, but I was so serious because I was like, I'm getting ready to, become a realtor, and I know you're going to be a doctor and you're going to have plenty of money to buy a house.
They also have special deals for doctors, because while we think doctors have plenty of money, what are the one thing that doctors have a lot of?
Student loans.
Student loan debt. There's special loan programs for doctors as well. Yeah. So here's the point, right? Who is a potential client for when you're looking for listings in general? Anyone who owns a home. Right?
Yeah, right? Anybody, everybody
that owns a home. We didn't talk about investors. Real quick, I want to talk about investors. Gary Keller talked about this when last summer I saw something that he spoke about, and actually it had me start to think about my rental properties, because if I have real estate holdings as an investor, right now, they are at their top dollar. This is the most that there's a good chance this is the most that they're going to be worth, right? So if I sell them now, then I can hold that money. And when the market switches, right, then I can buy more with that money then. But when the market switches, then I can't get the same amount out of it. So investors are another good pool of people to look at for listings. All right. So what is the seller's objection going to be when you tell them their number one probably objection when they say, yeah, I'd like to upgrade, but I don't want to be homeless, right? You just told me that there's no inventory. I don't want to be homeless. So I included in your email last night and also in your LOVIN on listings folder in your PC library. Let's go back to that folder.
Rhonda always tells us, Carla, about that reverse contingency, that's a big one to use.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got a accepted offer yesterday, and it has that on there that is contingent on them finding a home.
Yeah. So you guys see this that right now? Do you have helping sellers with inventory fear? So I emailed this to you last night. This was a short list that I could come up with. So, you know, we have what you guys are talking about, the contingent contract language for finding a new home, right? We have post-closing possession, right? Where kind of a sell lease back, right? Where the seller then would lease from the buyer for a period of time while they looked for a home or while they built a home. Is building another option for the fear of being homeless?
Yes.
We have an inventory problem, but the builders are building, right?
Yeah, but they kind of got a problem too. Now I did get, I've taken 3 buyers to builders last week.
Wow.
Yep. A lot of the neighborhoods are selling out quickly as well, so they have waiting lists too.
Oh, sure.
I do have one, well, the week before, I do have one who signed the contract. So this week, someone did get on the waiting list, but they're hoping to pull it February the 1st. So I think if she doesn't make that round, it might be the end of February or the beginning of March. And then another one is still looking. I just wanted to give them the option. I took them to get a price out so they was able to pick the home that they like, went through everything to see the price. So when we go look for homes, that they can compare if they can find something or not. So we're actually going out today. We went out the other day. They was like, oh, this is not big enough because they already looked at the new home and it was getting a basement and some other things. So we'll see how that goes about them finding something. So I'm sure they'll be able to make their decision that way.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. So that's when they say that I didn't put it on this list, but building is a thing. I mean, while it's not immediate, right? And it does take some time. That is an option. So we have post-closing possession. We could go ahead and sell it right now, right? We could get it on the market. We could sell it right now. We would know from the builder when they would be ready. And we could say, hey, we want to sell it. And then we want to lease it back from the buyer. So we get the maximum price now instead of waiting for everything to change, right? Until the price starts dropping and the interest rate goes up. We've got that in place and we're just going to rent our own home from the new owners. We have short-term rental options, right? There's some short-term rental options out there in the market. And then we have the blanket loan. And I am going to try, I'm working on a lender panel for February, and I'm going to try to get a lender on that has a really good blanket loan product. Did you guys know what a blanket loan is, what it does?
Covers all. That's all I can think of.
It does. It covers both. So you have to have some equity in your home, right? And if you have equity in your home and you're at a good place, good credit score, this is for, really good buyers, sellers, buyers.
They had one for $4 and they had one for $7.
Who is that? We need to.
The other one didn't say odor protection. So
who do we need to do here?
Kelly.
Sorry.
Okay, so we have the blanket loan, so that means we have our home that we own, and then we can buy our new home. We get a loan that covers both mortgages. Then we get our property on the market. When our property sells, we refinance, and then we just have a mortgage on our new home. So that it allows you to carry it both for a period of time.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, now my phone's going nuts. I don't know what's going on right now.
How is this different than a bridge loan? Do you
Well,
know?
that is a lender question, but
Okay.
a bridge loan is more for investors. So a bridge loan has to do with when you have, it's for a short-term lending, like a set amount of short-term lending, like a set period of time, a set term. This doesn't have a set term because it doesn't matter how long it takes until, and you know, if it takes 6 months to sell the home, after, you know, you can have that. It's just an interest payment only on that portion of it until the end. So, well, like I said, I'll get a lender in and they'll talk about that. But this is one that's a really big one. I've done this several times because what we don't want them to think is that they're going to make a contingent offer, right? They're not going to make an offer right now in this market successfully, likely, that is contingent on them selling their home. So there has to be another solution. So we want to make sure we're comfortable with all these and we're able to explain them. But when do we want to explain this? Do we want to explain this on the phone to them, or do we want to get an appointment and explain it to them?
Get an appointment.
Right. We need to get an appointment.
And also, they can also go ahead and have them talk to a lender, because I was actually surprised. I was telling my sellers that they have a listing coming up, so we already signed the listing contract, but I had them go ahead and apply for the new mortgage. And actually both of them, it was 2 families. So both of them got approved for a new mortgage without having to sell their home first. So that was surprising. I was actually surprised. They were too. So, you know, I'm asking the lender, do they have to sell this home first? So she was like, no, I gave you the pre-approval letter. Do what you got to do. I'm like, okay, you know, so they don't have to sell first, so they can go ahead. So with their interest rates being lower, they might not even have to.
That's awesome. Yeah. So there's a good point, you know, go ahead and have them talk to the lender. But what we want to do is we want to get with them. We want to have an appointment with them. We say, we have lots of options. I'd like to sit down with you and see which one of those might be, you know, good for you. When's a good time to get together? Remember, what we need to be doing is we need to always be figuring out how we can get an appointment with them to actually sit down and have a conversation. Because we're lead gen, right? We're having our calls.
Don't all mortgage lenders do blanket loans?
No.
No. Okay.
No. They do not. So, all right. So who thinks that what everybody give it to, you know, be thinking about, one, how many listings are you going to take before the end of February? Because you know you're going to tell me that here shortly. And 2, what is your number 1 source for those going to be? And then what is your number 2 source going to be for those? And then you're going to add those number 1 and number 2 things into your lead gen every day so that you can get listings. We already decided we wanted listings, right? Remind me again, who didn't want to get a listing in the next month and a half? So everybody wants to get a listing. Everybody is willing to commit to at least 1 listing. Yes? So we're going to commit to getting at least 1 listing. What do we have to do in order to get that listing?
Lead gen.
Lead gen. Cheryl got to do it again.
I got that one.
So we're going to lead gen. So now we need to figure out, how are we going to lead gen? So think about that for yourselves and share if you want to share. What's sounding good to you?
I'm going to lead gen in my neighborhood.
Farming. That's the one we hadn't talked about yet. I was waiting for. We didn't talk about farming, right? So think about from farming, right? We just reach out to all of our neighbors and let them know, hey, I just want to make sure you knew what was going on. I love having you as a neighbor, but have you ever thought about upgrading your home? I mean, call it an upgrade, right? It's an upgrade. We're upgrading. Even if we're right sizing, right? If we have a 4-bedroom home and all the kids have left, right? If we have a 4-bedroom home, all the kids have left. If we downsize or right size, it's still an upgrade, right? Now we have less home to clean. So if you call your neighborhood, maybe you saw a sign out in the yard that they have a senior in high school, right?
Right.
Anybody else?
Yep, I'm going to go to Walmart on Valentine's Day, and I'm going to put a heart box on the hood of my car with a sign that says free hugs and kisses, and I'm going to put candy kisses with my business card attached with a ribbon in the box, and then that way people can grab. I mean, that way with social distancing, like if they're walking to the car, and I think I'm going to go to the Walmart near my home and the Meijer near my home. And then as I'm getting out of the car to go in the store, I'm just going to put it on my hood, this bright pink box. So I was successful doing something like that prior to COVID, like for Christmas in 2019. I went to the Walmart near my home and I had little Christmas cards with candy canes on them, and I had my business card, and it was a cute little catchy saying. I can't remember what it said, but I was in the store and I walked around just giving these candy canes with my business card attached out. And that was received really well. People were just like, oh yeah.
That's
So
very cute.
that was
but Michelle, I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea, but that's not going to be your number one way you're going to get listings in February, right?
No. Yeah, no, that's not going to be. Well, no, I thought we were talking about lead gen.
No, we
So,
are
yeah,
talking
no,
about
that's
lead gen, but what is your number one lead gen source going to be to get your listing between now and the end of February? Your listings.
Yeah. I think just my church family is going to be my number one target.
Awesome.
Because there are like 10 members at my church. And so I'm just going to, and some of them are my Facebook friends. So I'm just going to keep drilling it home.
Awesome. All right. So is everybody ready to tell me one at a time how many listings they're going to commit to between now and the end of February?
Yeah, I'm thinking 3.
Okay. Cheryl's 3. Ann Bond?
I'm going to go 1.
1. Armand?
2.
2. Shelley? 3. Melissa?
Yeah, 3.
3. Carol? 1.
Yep, 1. Sorry.
Ian with an E?
I'm going to say 1.
1. Miranda's, I think Miranda had to leave us. Angela?
I'm so sorry. This is what again? How many leads?
How many listings are you going to take between now and the end of February?
I'm going to say 3.
Awesome. Michelle?
I'm going to do 3.
Anu?
2.
2. Renata?
2.
2. Lakeisha?
Sorry, I had to get to the mute button. I told you before, I think I said 3.
3.
I don't know if we can compare.
See, is Josie still here? Josie must have had to go. Melissa?
I'll do 1.
1. Robert?
I'm gonna do 5.
5. How many do you have listed right now, Robert?
4.
4.
Wow.
I know that's right.
So, I give Robert a hard time about being difficult, and Cheryl, we were just talking about Cheryl and Robert. Do you see what exercising your muscles does for you? Robert does script practice every morning.
He got my appointment today. I was being difficult, so.
Awesome. I think is Jay gone? Meredith was in the chat. Let's see what she say.
3.
Meredith says 3. All right, Danita?
1.
1. Did I miss anybody? Chelsea?
You missed me.
3.
3. Tamikia. I'm going to work on that.
2.
2. All right. Sorry, I made my list before you guys all got on. That's how I missed you. Sorry about that. All right. All right. So there's where we are. So now you know how many listings you're going to take between now and the end of February. And everybody is going to be shooting for Robert, right? Because Robert's got 5 and he thinks that he's going to win, right? So we're going to have a little smackdown here. You guys are going to have to start giving him a hard time, because we're going to start every Saturday. We're going to say how many we've got and see how many people got hearts. Okay. All right. So let's go practice again. We know that practice gets Robert his listings. So let's get I say practice and everybody starts leaving me. I don't know how that happens. We got to practice in order to get good at it. So we're going to go back into, let's see, how many rooms can we make? I have to start over. Everybody left me. Now I got to start over. Okay. We've got 20 minutes. So go practice having those conversations and practice the objections, right? And you've got them in your folders. So open those up on your computer if you want, your scripts, and let's practice. I'll give you 15 minutes and then we'll come back and we'll break it down again. See you in a little bit. Was it easier the second time? Good. Well, it wasn't for Robert. Robert, did you have easier people this time?
Yeah, I think so.
You and Cheryl make good script practice partners because you guys build each other's muscles. Tell me, Robert, how's it going with your listings? Do you have any offers or what's been going on with them?
I just got the one. Well, I got one that's pending. On another one, I got what else?
Kyla, sorry.
That I got a few offers on that one, and then one is just I got just on two of them. I got a couple offers on.
Awesome.
Okay, congratulations, Robert.
I know he's killing it. All right, you guys all should have, I did it while you were in your breakout room, your little commitment form. So you can put in there how many, you've already given me your number. So if you can't remember what you told me, then just let me know and I'll send it back to you. But you put your number in there and then identify how you're going to lead gen for those. And I'm excited. If you guys, I added that up, that's 36 listings.
Carla, I'm gonna mess with you. You and your damn commitments.
Okay, let's talk about commitments for a minute. What's the difference between an interest and a commitment?
I understand. I know. Committing is just saying that you
Being
are
accountable?
committing to do it.
It's being accountable, right? If we're
Yes,
interested in something, what's the chance that we're going to do it?
We probably
Depends on
won't
how
put
busy
you
we are.
interested. Yeah.
It's compelling us to move forward.
But if we commit to it, right, then who wants to make a commitment and not hit it?
No.
No one.
All right. So that's why I have you commit. I want you to
know.
commit.
I know
Who are you
why.
committing to? I have another question. Who are you committing
Myself.
to?
Who am I committed to?
Who are you committing to? When you commit to getting when you commit to getting 2 listings between now and the end of February, who are you committing to?
Myself.
Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Awesome. All right. One more thing. Has everybody here talked to Jessica Riley?
Not yet.
I have.
No.
Okay.
I reached out to her.
Anu, I'm not
She never
sure,
responded.
since you're on a team, Anu, I'm not sure this relates to you. But for everyone that's not on a team, I highly recommend that you talk to Jessica Riley and just see what she has to offer. If you're in the supported model in KW My Way, it's free. She is doing all kinds of amazing things. She's setting up your Facebook business page if you don't have it set up. She's doing all kinds of things like that, right? If you're on a team, check. I don't know how that works with a team, but you can still have a conversation with her. It'd be good to know what she's offering. She's offering social media posts. Like she'll make your social media post to your business page for you on a schedule. So if you're in productivity or if you're in the supported model, it's free. She'll do all these things and it doesn't cost you anything. If you're in the enhanced or the classic model of KW My Way, then it is an add-on and she can give you the whole menu of what that looks like. But I highly recommend that you talk to her. When do you want to add leverage? Do you want to add it when you're a mess and you need it and you've made a mess out of everything and you're missing deadlines, or add it now before that happens?
Now.
Yeah, now.
You know what's out there. This is a unique opportunity to have basically the same thing that Shelly and Chelsea and Meredith have on their team and Melissa. They have 2 admins, right? You guys all now have admins. So Jessica has a whole team of people that will work on your behalf. If you don't know how to get a hold of her, shoot me an email and I will send you her Calendly. I'm getting better with that word. Do you notice that? Calendly.
It's a weird word.
It is not a word. That's why it's weird. All right, you guys go out and enjoy your day, your weekend. Those of you that are 12 weekers, you should be getting a text message from me tomorrow. So though you guys voted on Friday, you wanted to do your weekend number reporting on Sunday. So it'll all be there. So next week we'll find out who our first week winner was. And then we'll go. And I'll see you guys on Monday morning for... Yes, Armand.
Jay and I are going to start doing things again this next Friday. So
Ms. Boson expires with Armand and Jay starting on Friday.
at 9:30.
9:30.
9:30. Awesome. All right. Remember, text me if you need anything. Have an awesome weekend.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Time to plan.